Who could play Victor Von Doom?
Robert Downey Jr. Watch.
Well, y'all, it was just announced that Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., is coming back to the MCU to be none other than Doctor Doom. What is happening? What is happening? Is this real life right now? Are we in a real world? Is this a dream? This is real. This is happening. So I am somewhat shocked, but at the same time, my initial reaction to hearing this news is I'm just think it makes so much sense. Honestly, it's so diabolical of Marvel Studios to do this. Marvel, if you're watching this, you are diabolical and I love it. I think this is such a genius move, and I think it's a genius move for a few different reasons that I'm going to get into in this video. So stay tuned, we'll lay it all out for you. Number one, I think this is a genius move because it's giving the people what they want. Something that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time is for Robert Downey Jr. to come back. Now, granted, we wanted him to come back as Iron Man, but the thing is, Iron Man's story is kind of done, right? So you could have him come back as an AI version of Iron Man with Ironheart. That's definitely an angle that I thought they might do. I definitely thought they were going to bring him back, but I wasn't thinking they were going to do it as Doom. And I think it's cool because it's also unexpected. So it's giving us what we want, but not in a way that we expect. And really, I think that's what a lot of people want. I was actually at a panel the other day where Joe Quesada was talking about a misquote of Stan Lee, and I feel like it really applies here. This whole idea of people misquote Stan as saying, you know, don't give the people what they want, but what he really said was, don't give the people what they want, give them what they really want. The whole way that he interpreted that, Joe Quesada, is that it's not about giving people what they want necessarily just as it is. It's more about giving them what they want in an unexpected way so that it feels really fun and really exciting for the reader or the viewer. And I think this is one of those moves, honestly. The other reason that I feel like this is really amazing is because it gives Robert Downey Jr. something completely new to do. And I know he has said before that he'd be willing to come back if it was the right thing, if it was the right time, the right project. And this sounds like it would be the right role for him because it's a really complex and interesting role. And I just feel like where he's at in his career, he needs something that isn't just, you know, him. And I think that Tony, while a really great role for him, is in some ways kind of just Robert Downey Jr. I mean, I think there's a lot of elements of himself that he uses. Now, as an actor, I do think we always use elements of ourselves to portray roles. And I think that he will still be doing that with Victor, don't get me wrong, or maybe it won't be Victor. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think he'll still be doing that with Doom. I just think it's going to be a lot more nuanced maybe than what we've seen before, and I'm very intrigued for that. RDJ is also just at a really cool point in his career. He did Oppenheimer. He crushed it in Oppenheimer as the villain, basically. So that was really cool to see. And he was also recently in, I believe it was a film, I think it was a film, where he played 5 or 4 different characters, and they're all styled up differently. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I think this is something that could lend to that. Like this idea of coming back to the MCU but playing someone totally different. It's something that people don't think of. We don't think you can recast an actor as someone else in the same universe. But honestly, why not? Especially when you have an actor that has the acting capacity that we have with Robert Downey Jr. I do think he has the chops, I do think he has the skills, and I think it'll be something fun for him to play with. So I'm excited to see it on that level. Now let's talk about Doom just as a character coming into the MCU. So this is something that I think we've been building to for a while. A lot of us have been guessing, myself included, that Doom was on his way based on the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, honestly, based on some stuff that's been happening in the comics with Doom, and obviously Kang is out, so the question was, who will be in. We knew that Jonathan Majors was out, so who would be in? Would it be someone taking over the role of Kang? Would it be an evolution of Kang? Would it be a different character? And I think that Doom just makes sense, especially with them wanting to do, you know, Fantastic Four, which also opens up the possibility that this Doom could be from another universe. And so it might not even be Victor as Doom. It might actually be maybe an alternate version of Tony in some capacity. And now why I think this kind of can make sense is because in the comics, we've seen a lot of stories with Tony and Victor opposite each other. Sometimes they even team up together. And there are a lot of similarities, I think, in those two characters. They're both geniuses who kind of go in a different path with their evolution as characters. One of them becomes a villain. One of them becomes a hero. They both have kind of interesting childhoods that I think we could say both of them have kind of had tough childhoods, but both of them have also come from a place of having everything at their fingertips. They got a lot of resources, you know? So there's a lot of similarities there. We've also literally had stories where they swap places. So I just think it makes a lot of sense. I am personally very excited to see what version of Doom we're going to be getting. Will Doom be appearing in Fantastic Four as well? We know that we're going to be getting 2 movies coming up that are going to be done by the Russo brothers. So we're going to get in 2026, I believe we're going to get Doomsday. So exciting. And the green logo and everything. I'm so ready for that. And then in 2027, we're going to be getting Secret Wars, which also is another reason that many of us were theorizing Doom might be appearing here, because Doom has a huge role in Secret Wars, in the 2015 Secret Wars, which was also the version that was alluded to in the trailer. We saw that Secret Wars issue on the ground. So I think when they do Secret Wars, it is going to be based off the 2015 Secret Wars in a lot of ways, which means Doom has a major role to play. Does that mean we're going to be getting God Emperor Doom? I hope so. I honestly think Robert Downey Jr. would just have so much fun playing God Emperor Doom. My goodness. But they have some plans that are really far out, so there is time for us to figure out exactly what the vision is here, exactly what they're planning on doing. All I know is that I think this is a really smart marketing play. It's giving people what they want in a way that they don't expect, and it also makes sense. It just makes sense. I'm sure there are people out there that are going to say this doesn't make sense. And, you know, that might be the case for them, or that maybe there's just stuff that they haven't seen in the comics that helps them to connect those dots. I think, based on what I know from the comics and based on what I know of these characters, both Iron Man and Doctor Doom, I think this is a brilliant play from Marvel, and I am so excited to see where Robert Downey Jr. takes this character. It's also a casting that none of us were guessing. I feel like everyone was guessing, a bunch of other actors, a bunch of other people. And while I am sad that someone else is going to be robbed of that role, like we're not going to get a new, different, amazing actor in the MCU, I am really excited for Robert Downey Jr. to come back. And I think it also makes sense just in terms of him, you know, now as he gets older, I think this is a role that fits as well with his age. And it's going to be brilliant in that way as well, because, you know, Iron Man kind of always has to be in his 30s. Like, let's be real. A lot of superheroes kind of are stuck in their late 20s, early 30s, maybe sometimes younger if they're like a teen hero. So I'm very curious to see how that will play into it. And I think that's really also going to add to the characterization as well. Just, it's a good time in his career. It's a good time in his life. And I'm so excited for him to be coming back. And I'm excited to see if this helps to put some life into the MCU. I think it needs a little injection. And I think with all of the stuff that I'm seeing that they're talking about coming next, we might see a return of the MCU in a big way. And I'm so excited. Now just get the X-Men in there, you know? Get us in there. I'm ready. I'm ready to play ball. Put the X-Men in. We'll play some baseball. That's what we love to do. We love to play a baseball game, let me tell you. All right, that's it for this one, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, friends, stay nerdy. Bye.